Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to Tea with Ann Marie. It is Friday, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday today. I'm super excited to have one of my good friends and special guest, Miss Katrina Long Robinson. She is a community advocate. She is out there doing her thing, and I'm going to bring her on right now so she can join this conversation, and we'll get right into it this afternoon.
Hello.
Hey, Katrina.
Friend.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm chilling in quarantine land and COVID land, but I'm having a good Friday. What about you?
I'm having a great Friday. I cannot complain at all. I was trying to bring you on to Instagram, but for whatever reason, it's creating an echo. So we're going to have to figure that out another time. How
Good
to
deal.
do that.
Good deal.
So those who are listening, tell us a little bit about who you are, Katrina, because I feel like I know you've been involved in different community initiatives and movements for a while, but you have definitely just kind of like bursted on the scene politically over the last couple of years. And I must say you're doing a phenomenal job, but let our listeners know who you are.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me on the show. I never take it lightly when people ask me to come and speak on their platform. So I appreciate you, my friend, for having me on, spilling tea on business, politics, community news, and more. So my name is Katrina Long Robinson. I'm a native of Palm Beach County, born and raised in Palm Beach County. Went off to school at the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, which sits on the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee, Florida. Got to put that out there. But
Yes.
I have, I've always loved community and working in community. I attended New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church growing up and came back home and got involved in the youth ministry and started working with the youth ministry, taught at my first job at Roosevelt Elementary School under the direction and leadership of Julia Ann Bullard. And from there, went to Roosevelt Middle School and worked under Dr. Gloria Crutchfield and just had some dynamic mentors. Um, but I always worked in community with New Bethel. I was the youth director and then eventually became the community events director for the ministry. So that's when I really think I developed a love and passion for working through ministry. And while doing that, we had a good youth department, good youth workers, and we were able to do something dynamic for the community. We hosted a major back to school event, which had over 300 students that attended, where we did book bag giveaways and things of that nature. And so from that, we implemented a Midnight Madness, like a nightly concert for the youth in the community and in the area where it would pack out and we would have thousands of young people. Like literally, we probably had 1,000 young people at one time. And so that is where I learned to collaborate with people because we would work with, that's how I met Pastor Tracy and Tammy up in Grafted Word. We would collaborate with them. We would collaborate with all the churches, basically. But I learned true collaboration and true community. And so 2016, I got a phone call about a piece of land that was carved out by a group of developers and that they were incorporating a city. And the city attorney asked me that time, would I be open and willing to serve as a city commissioner? And I first said no, because I wanted to live in my bubble still. But I was married to the late Doug Robinson, who was a community advocate as
Yes.
well. And I truly felt, one night kind of contemplating that his Douglas would have been running for his dad's seat had he not passed. And so I looked at that as my time and my moment to fulfill my late husband's purpose.
Yes.
And so I said yes. And saying yes to the call meant saying yes to everything. And so I wanted to make sure that if I did it, I gave it my all. and that I made sure I always kept people and community first. And so that's what my prayer has been, just God to continue to keep me humble and keep me a servant for all people, and to make sure I'm working for all people whose lives I touch. And so I love Palm Beach County. Um, and so I love the people in Palm Beach County. We are a diverse, wonderful, melting pot of people. And so I'm just excited to serve during this time and during this season.
Well, we are super excited that well, first of all, we love you
Thank
and
you.
love the work that you're doing for our community in Palm Beach County. I happen to have served with your late husband, Doug Robinson, through the Urban League Young Professionals. He was a charter member. We served on the board together, and he definitely was a community advocate at heart. And that's actually through the Urban League is how I really started my community advocacy back in 2003 or so when we first started the Young Professionals.
Right.
I haven't looked back since, and just became a love for the movement, as we call it.
Absolutely. And so, I tease all the time myself and say, okay, tap in. What would Doug do? What would Doug do? So, like, it's amazing, and it's interesting when you get married, your visions connect, right? And so
Mhm.
it was ordained, and so I'm just fulfilling his vision, and it has merged into my vision, and so I'm having a good time along the way.
Okay, good. We're going to dive right in. So, we on Tea with Ann Marie, I thought it was important that we talk about everything from business, because I'm so involved in the business community, to politics, because I'm also super involved with politics. And
Sure.
both are like my passions, and I just love both of them like to pieces. Like I live and breathe business and politics. And then community happenings. I've, like dedicated to the community, putting our community first and making sure that people are aware of what's happening in and around our community, things that are impacting them on a daily basis. So we're going to dive right into COVID
Sure.
19.
Sure.
Yesterday, we broke another record,
Okay.
13,000 plus cases. Um, just what, not another record, second to the first record of 15,000. So 13,000 cases yesterday. Our cases are not going down, and yet we have a governor
Sure.
who insist on following the lead of our president, who I wouldn't call a leader at this point, with how they've been handling this situation. So, like, what are your thoughts, and what do we do as a community? Because clearly, we cannot rely on our government to do the right thing right now, as far as our state and federal leaders. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I think we closed too late and opened too early.
Mm-hmm.
And so, luckily, we have our county commissioners and a mayor who's looking at the numbers and making sound decisions. And let me say this: I know that everyone does not agree with wearing the mask, but what we have found is, and data has shown, that the masks are effective with preventing us from, as much as possible,
Right.
from contracting this disease. Correct. So
Right.
what we must do is continue to quarantine,
Mm-hmm.
wear the mask. So I received a call the other day from a business owner in Westlake, where some of our business owners were not necessarily following the mandate that we have in place. Um,
Right.
so when that happens, it just causes a serious disconnect. However, if we move forward with what we have in place, we are hoping we'll see these numbers go down. One, because we want to get back to a sense of normalcy. And
Correct.
of course, that sense of normalcy will not come as soon as we want it to, unless we follow what we have in place. And so, what we have in place now is wear your mask, do
Right.
your physical distancing as well as the social distancing.
Right.
We saw where they're now asking that we do not gather even more than 10 persons in a house
Yeah.
at a time. So we must make sure that we are working hard and tediously to follow what we or what the physicians and medical experts have put in place as best as they could, right?
Right.
And I have said I'm those decisions. It's hard to make these decisions. Just look at the school board meeting the other night. They were in until 12:30.
Yeah.
Twelve
Yeah.
thirty in the
In the
morning.
morning. Yeah.
It started at literally at 2 p.m. and they went until 12:30. One, because you want to make the best decision and you do want to hear the people you serve.
Absolutely.
However, we also need to make sure that we are keeping people safe. And when we notice that some decisions that are best for people are not being made on a national level, then yeah, at a point we have to look at what we're doing at this point on the county level.
Right, definitely on a local level, and I say to people, and for anyone out there that's listening, because I listen, I see some of you on my timeline that are defying the rules of wearing a mask, saying that it's affecting your liberties and your freedoms, and these and then there are others who have these conspiracy theories that still believe that COVID-19 is a hoax or isn't real, and I'm like, I know people who personally are dealing with it now or dealing with the after effects, because we haven't even talked about that a whole lot about the after effects. After your 14 days, what happens to your body next? There are people who are dealing with those. And then we also have people who have died. And it's so disrespectful to the families who have lost someone for people to still think that this is a joke or that this is some type of hoax. And here's my thing, because like you, I'm a business owner, and I'm a community person. And so when it comes to making the decisions, I know our leaders have a very tough decision to make between our economy and protecting the lives of people. Right. Protecting the lives of people should always be number one, because that's what's going to help the economy in the long run. However, I also understand that, with people having to be out of work, it puts a hardship. So you have to decide what's the way that we can keep a portion of the economy moving and keep people safe. So I get that it's a hard decision on all levels of government. But what I say to people who are refusing to wear a mask, you have the freedom to move about with a mask and social distancing and following the guidelines. That is your freedom. That is being protected. You have the freedom to continue to move about and go to the store, go see your friends and family, go walk in the park, go to the beach. You have those freedoms. All you have to do is wear a mask to protect yourself and other people around you and practice the social distancing. I don't understand why there's a debate about that when you still have that freedom.
Absolutely. And even so I represent area code 33470. And we're noticing, when we're tracking this data, we're noticing numbers are increasing. So in Westlake, thank God, we will be doing a pop-up testing for not only our city, but for those surrounding cities, our neighboring areas, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So I'm putting that plug out there. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be at Westlake Amenity Center. It's a pop-up. It's pop-up testing. You can go to our webpage, www.westlakegov.com, to find out all the information you need. You don't have to have any symptoms, but we must start testing, and we also must start wearing these masks. Like I said, I know for some people they're saying it's uncomfortable, and I understand that, but we got to remain safe, and
right.
we want to get back. Like you said, if we aren't, the economy suffers.
Yes.
The longer we prolong this, and we definitely want to get our economy back where it is, especially for our small business owners. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are following all guidelines that CDC has put in place.
Absolutely. So what I say to people is this: if you really want to help the economy and ensure that businesses do not shut down again, because let's face it, there are businesses who have shut down because of the first shelter in place and who will never reopen. That it devastated them, devastated their family, because it's not only individuals who don't have emergency funds, businesses don't have emergency funds. So we need to
Absolutely.
understand, especially small businesses, that people having to shut their doors is not going to be good for any of us in the long run. So if we have to have another shutdown, that is going to cause more chaotic, situations in our economy in the short and long run. So that's the first thing. Protecting, if you want to protect the economy and protect your freedoms, wear the mask and
Mhm.
social distance so that businesses don't have to shut down. The second thing, for people to not have to continue to perish
Right.
and lose
Right.
family members, especially in our community.
Right.
And this is for any community, but we are definitely, our numbers are skyrocketing. So
Right.
I felt like, stop trying to have all these gatherings at your house and these
Right.
pool parties and having a DJ in your backyard. Guys, it is not worth it at the end of the day. I still see promoters out here promoting day parties, and come to happy hour or come to ladies in free,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be a restaurant, not a bar or club.
Sure.
One, it's supposed to
Sure.
be a restaurant, and now you have these numbers. So you go in there, you let your guard down. You might walk in with the mask, but you got to eat, you got to drink.
Absolutely.
You're gonna now start
Absolutely.
socializing, and now with you having alcohol consuming your system, your guard is down, whether you're at a house party or not. So now we're getting those numbers of people from them gathering at these parties, or at a restaurant, um, or at their homes, and it's like that is an impact, guys. This is a part of the
Absolutely.
problem.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a big part of the problem. And I was baffled and embarrassed when I did see that people were continuing, especially 4th of July weekend. I saw so many parties on my timeline until it was absolutely ridiculous. And unfortunately, um, people are thinking it can't happen to me. Well,
Mhm.
guess what? It can happen to you because it is happening to people we know. I know
Absolutely.
several people who have either have COVID or they have lost family members to COVID. And
Yeah.
so, it is something that we are going to definitely have to move forward collectively
Yeah.
with caring for one another, and like we said, making sure, because one thing I did find, Anne Marie, when we were going through this, small businesses are really the heart of all of our community.
Yes. Yes.
Those small businesses make our heartbeat for community. So we definitely, I miss the small businesses. They're I was missing them. I must admit, and so we must make sure that we continue to save those small businesses, and make sure that we're moving forward how we need to move forward.
Absolutely, and let's talk about that. There's some points of how I want to start on how we as a community can support small businesses, and then I want to kind of jump into what small businesses can continue to do to survive through this pandemic. Definitely, order if you like me. Sometimes you're tired of cooking. I mean, as much as I love to be in that kitchen and create my little vegetarian pescatarian dishes, sometimes I need to, change it up a little bit. So definitely supporting a business through delivery, takeout, gift cards, um, going to pick it up, whatever you got to do. So we can still continue to do that, of course. And then for those businesses who have e-commerce setups, go ahead and support buying their service or product online, and having virtual, meetings, consultations, whatever you have to do. So I definitely believe in finding a way to continue to support our small businesses by continuing to patron them. So we can continue to do that, and we can do it safely,
Yes.
because that's what's going to keep them afloat. Every dollar right now for every business out there is it matters. Every penny matters to every business out there. So and that's the hard part of all of this. I don't know if you want to add anything before we kind of pivot to some
Thank
tips for small businesses.
I love it. First of all, remember I called you to find out how can I support more. One thing that I did like was I joined leadership. I was a part of Leadership Palm Beach County 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of my classmates were intentional about asking, "Hey, Katrina, how can we support? Who are some of the small businesses?" And so that's when you and I started talking, so I could refer them to links. Um, We had community members doing a fantastic job of creating flyers or graphics, rather, identifying who those small businesses were. Because one thing that I did find was some people just simply didn't know
You didn't know.
some of the small businesses existed, right? And so I feel as though when we are intentional, those of us who have a voice, right? And,
Yeah.
and we use our voice to promote Ann Marie Sorrell, to promote Shelley with
Bombshell boutique.
Bombshell Boutique. You know, we have to be intentional with advertising these small businesses as well. And we need to make sure that we are talking to our allies about, hey, have you ever heard of Trendy Gourmet? Have you ever heard of uh, Cafe Sweets? Have you ever
Mm-hmm.
heard of there's a coffee shop downtown, and I haven't been, but Commissioner Lambert and I have a coffee date where we're going to be intentional about going to that coffee shop. So we must be intentional about advertising and talking about the small businesses. I know in the Western community, I did a cash month
Mm-hmm.
solely for small businesses, where I advertise certain days for us to go and support these small business owners because we need them. They thrive and they're accessible to us in our communities. So it's important that we support them.
Absolutely, and I'll say this: I'd be remiss if I didn't. And thank you for reaching out to me about that. So, for those who don't know, and let me be very clear, because when there's a recession for general America, there's a depression for Black America. So let me be very clear about that, about my love and for the support of Black-owned businesses as well, to be a little more specific. So for any business that's out there, please register your business for free on blackbusinessloop.com to be a part of the business directory. Anyone who's looking for Black-owned businesses, you can go to blackbusinessloop.com, search our directory for what it is that you're looking for. If you have an event coming up, you can list your event for free on blackbusinessloop.com. If you're a community nonprofit, if you're a funder, lender, any type of resource that you can offer to small businesses and Black-owned businesses, please visit blackbusinessloop.com and put that information there. You can do a free listing, list your business for free, list your event for free. As we get that information, we're going to be populating that information onto our Facebook page, Black Business Loop. But in addition to that, August is coming, and I ain't talking about entanglements.
Oh, yeah.
I had to throw that in there. But August is National Black Business Month. There are 31 days, 31 ways that you can support a Black-owned business. Every day, we will be featuring, starting August 1, local and national Black-owned businesses on both Mosaic's page, my page, Black Business Loop page. And then August 21st through the 22nd, if you visit National Black Economic Conference.com, we're having our annual conference. This is the 10th year that we're doing this conference in celebration of National Black Business Month. We're going to have national and local speakers. We're going to have a virtual expo. It's all going to be done virtually. We have 14 different seminars about wealth building, from business to real estate to stocks to what's hot in technology to growth industries. So you do not want to miss that. And we're making it affordable. I believe the entire weekend is just $99. And for the information you're going to be getting, the access you're going to be getting is ridiculous. So you definitely want to visit National Black Business, not National Black Business, National Black Economic Conference.com. And we'll put that in the chat in the comments as well. Virtual, August 21st and 22nd. So it's all virtual. And it's gonna be jam-packed with information and a roadmap for us to build generational wealth. I did say technology. Alan, you have Alan made a comment. Alan, you have a letter coming to you to be a speaker. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Yes. Alan, my brother and my friend, he has a business as well that thrives here in the community. Absolutely. He and his wife, Dr.
Absolutely.
And his wife has been just phenomenal with being a voice for the African American community during COVID, and everyone, honestly. She has just done a phenomenal job, Dr. Tiffany McCullough.
Yes. So a couple of things I want to say. Resources. So for business owners out there who have not received PPP funding, um, PPP, which is the Paycheck Protection Program, funding is still available through August 8th. They have extended it. If you have not applied, this is your chance to still apply. You might be a gig economy, a gig worker, so you're a sole proprietor, or if you have a business where you have employees, this is that opportunity is still there for you to apply. The Black Business Investment Fund, there you can apply through them as well. They're part of Palm Beach County, or your local bank. So please, if you have not applied for PPP, go ahead and do so. The EIDL loan fund is also still available for you to apply for, which is the loan from the SBA. It's you don't have to, if you qualify, you don't have to make your first payment for 12 months. It's a 30-year term. They may give you, make you qualify for X amount. I think the maximum is $150,000. You don't have to take the same amount, the whole amount. In addition to that, for women entrepreneurs, Visa has a program, a new fund that they just put out. So I'll get those links and share them in the link, but you definitely want to look for other resources. The key for business owners out there, don't be afraid of these loans, guys, because this is the only time that you're going to get that type of don't make any payments for 12 months, 3.75 interest rate. It's not happening again. The 30-year term, normally it's a 2-year term, right? So this is the only time you're going to get that type of opportunity. So what you want to make sure you do is don't run out of money. If you have to take the loan and put it in a savings account, don't run out of money. So I want to just kind of put that out there for, and then for what you can do to continue to survive outside of the financial resources. This is a great time for you to really do more digital marketing of yourself, become a subject matter expert at what it is that you do, and figure out how you can continue to provide additional value for your previous clients, current clients, and your potential new clients. What additional service can you offer? My good friend Felicia Hatcher, she did a talk on Saturday, I believe it was, about 65 plus side hustles that you can start right now during COVID-19, with small budgets, right? And I remember her giving this one idea, for example, that if you had a cleaning service or a mobile detail service, of course, it's make it all mobile, but so make everything mobile. But one of the things that she said to me that she said in her presentation that stood out was to provide kits for your clients. So that way, when you come to clean their car, you come to clean their house, you sold them a kit that stays at their house, so they don't have to worry about you bringing somebody else's germs to their house, their car. And you might pay $30 for the whole kit, but you sell it to them for 50 or 70, you make a profit, and now they feel comfortable and you've added value. And that was just one thing. I was like, that is brilliant.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Yeah. That's brilliant.
Absolutely. So we have to encourage businesses to think outside the box, and think about how you're going to add value to your customers and how you pivot and even add additional services during this time of COVID, because we don't know when things are going to go back to quote unquote normal, if ever, whatever that
is. And so we say normalcy, but we don't know what the new normal will look like.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some new normals for us that we're going to have to adjust to.
Absolutely. Alan, and I'm trying to also, let's look at some of the comments real quick that have come in. So Alan says, look at the HEROES Act, which is billions of funding waiting to be approved. Definitely. Let's look at that. Let's see if there were any questions. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. Some of them will come through. We may not see all of them, but we'll definitely try to get to as many comments as possible, questions. So, okay, we talked about business. We talked COVID-19. Now, you know, the next hot topic is elections. This is a big election year. Next month, we have our local elections.
Mhm.
I just want to get your thoughts right away. Let's just get into that.
Voting is the most effective way for that is what I have been talking. We need people to show up and we need them to respond.
Mhm.
We must vote. If we don't like what we're seeing, we must vote. You and I were on a call the other night
Mhm.
uh, together, talking about how can we, because we're in the Tri-County area, and shout out to Bernadette Weeks for inviting myself as well as you on that conversation where we were able to just talk to people in the Tri-County area, Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. And it makes sense where we are going to have to be innovative at this point with our thought process with getting people out because even though we are quarantining, we still must vote.
Yes.
One thing, Ann Marie, we know voter suppression is real.
Yes.
It is a it is a true thing. And so
What just
those
happened yesterday? We'll talk about what just happened yesterday with the felons, with the Supreme Court shutdown. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's the thing, it's real. And so what we must do is we are going to have to talk to everybody, our young people as well as our seasoned people. I don't call them old. I've been around enough of them not to call them old. They're seasoned. But
Season.
yeah, season. We're gonna have to make sure we speak with everyone. One thing that getting off that call, it shifted my mindset to where I need to go to those young people to have conversations with them. So I did ask a couple of my mentees, um, who I still have contact with. They've launched podcasts. So myself, uh, Attorney Destiny Baker Sutton, and I will be on one that launches out of Jacksonville. Myself, Commissioner Omari Hardy, and a teacher here, Matthew Kiernan, will be on one that launches out of Dubai. However, her base is in Palm Beach County, and Tammy Jackson Moore and I will be on a podcast with Jasmine Shirley. She's based out of a young girl based out of Bellblade. Because what we've noticed is uh, Generation Z and our millennials have been a part of the movement.
Mhm.
It literally, Senator Powell said, we got to make sure this is not a moment but a movement. Those young people have been about the movement, and so my voice needs to be to those young people. I need to go and meet them where they are so we
Yes.
can talk about the last day to register to vote is July 20th.
July 20th, 3 days away.
Yeah, we need to talk to them. If you don't want to go in, request your absentee ballot.
Yes.
We need to talk to our seasoned people, making sure that those signatures, because that's another thing. If they're voted by mail, we need to make sure those signatures are matching up because we don't want those ballots thrown out and them for their vote not to be counted. So this election, Ann Marie, is going to be. I'm excited, but I know it's going to be a lot of hard work to be done. We're going to have to really work. One thing that I would love for us to do, and I've had conversations about it, is set up voter registration at our COVID testing sites.
Yes.
Our COVID testing sites are going to be here for a while, so why not make sure while people are waiting to be registered to vote, be tested, they can register to vote at the same time. One thing that
or update, because I think too, to cut you off, Katrina, we got to make sure people who move
yeah,
and change their address, do a change of address, update your voter registration file. And then there were precincts that are no longer going to be the same precinct. I was on a call with our supervisor of elections, and I believe that at least 3 at least 3 precincts have been eliminated, if not more. So you want to also check your precinct to make sure that you know exactly where to go vote if there has been a change.
That's good information. And as you know, as leaders and community advocates, we need to be making sure that we are getting that information out on our social media platforms. So thank you for even reminding me of that, because yeah, you're right. People need to know exactly where to go if they did a change of address. That they need to make sure all of that is on file so that they are prepared when it's time, when we getting up going to vote, or, that we're able to be accounted for.
Absolutely. So, and I love that. I love what everything you said. Definitely our young people, we've seen they were leading the charge and have been still continue to lead the charge in these protests. And I want to empower our young people who are leading these charges, are leading these movements, that you also have to make sure you're registered to vote and you're bringing other people to register to vote and you get out there and vote, because it's one thing to protest. But if you
Right.
do not go to that ballot box, or if you do not turn in your mail-in ballot with your proper signature, then all that protesting means nothing, because we have to, elections matter. We are seeing the consequences federally, nationally, statewide on the results of our previous elections, right?
I heard Stacey Abrams say it best, because of course we're all home, so we're zooming. We're looking at town halls, and Stacey Abrams said for your local, those are your judges, right? Your mayors,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
your DAs, your elected officials, your school board members, and I don't know if some people realize. I saw on a Facebook post, some of our Palm Beach County folk did not even realize a sheriff was elected.
Yes.
Right?
Wow.
Didn't realize that, and I don't know if they realize that a mayor appoints their chief.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Civics.
so
Civic lessons.
right, and so naturally, some of us are seasoned, so our minds aren't what they used to be, but it's like clockwork. So even the state, education, incarceration, medication. On the federal level, that's your government. That's all your moving parts. So this thing is serious. And one thing I tell people, definitely vote, 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 vote. But our local elections are important. It's important for people to be able to pick up their phone and call me.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Because we're able to have those conversations and get real change done. On the local level, we write policies for our police departments.
Yeah.
We change some of those things up. So it's important that people really need to understand. And here's the thing, Ann Marie, it's important for us to educate, because I don't know what I don't know.
Oh, I absolutely agree. My second or third tea with Ann Marie, I had a group of ladies that came, and by the time they left, they were like, "Oh my God, you need to teach a whole lesson in civics, because there's so much that I didn't know that you talked about." And so it is up to us to continue to educate. So, even with that being said, with August 18th, so I want you guys to please mark your calendar. August 18th is an election day. It's a very important election day. It's a primary for some seats, right?
Yes.
And it's also the election for our local constitutional officers, county commissioners, school board members, judges,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
the primary for some of our state rep seats, as well as some of our, I believe, some of our congressional seats. It's a primary for. So you want to make sure that, like Katrina said, you've registered, you've updated everything. The last day to register, the last day to update all your voter information for the August 18th election is June 20th. So that's in 3 days. You have 3 days. So if you know someone who's not a registered voter, you have 3 days to get them registered, guys. As it relates to absentee ballots, you can go on to the supervisor of elections office right now and request your vote by mail ballot, meaning that you can vote on your couch, you can vote on the toilet, you can vote after you wash your dishes, you can vote watching TV, you can vote doing whatever you want to do in the comfort of your home, sign it, and drop it in the mail or take it by the supervised elections office, and turn it in. So
And we can do that online as well. I think they can do that online as well, correct?
as far as what, turning in their ballot?
For their requesting the ballot at this point.
Yes, they can request a ballot at this point.
Yeah.
And what's good is when you request it, you can request it for this whole cycle, meaning you can request it for August and November with one request. So, so you want to go ahead and do that. So on the good side of things, the numbers have 150% increase in vote by mail ballot requests.
Yes.
So far, there has been in Palm Beach County, I believe they mailed out over 350,000 vote by mail ballots last week or the week before last. I think it was last week. And they're anticipating by November, we'll have over 450,000 requests for vote by mail ballots, which means that's a lot of voter education that has to happen to make sure people know how to fill it out.
Yeah, we got to
work on that.
We definitely have to get to work, and we have to have those conversations. So that's good information that you just gave. Yeah, we got to get to work and do some educating.
Absolutely. So normally I do Tea with Ann Marie every month, but I'm going to do a few more because I want to do one specifically on how to complete the ballot and properly sign it, as well as going over some of the seats. So like you said, the sheriff is up for re-election. Do you know your sheriff, people? And do you know the other candidates? And what are the differences between them, right? Who stands for what you stand for? Our property appraiser, she's unopposed. So she's going to still be on the ballot, but she's unopposed. But our tax collector there are new people running for that seat. Our school board members, I believe there are at least 3 school board member seats that are up.
There are. For our judges, and like you said, people need to do their homework. So for the judge, we have a couple of judges that are up, and you can actually look at their report card or their evaluations at palmbeachbar.org. Look at the ballot and look those people up so you can see what they stand for. Look at their report card rating. Those things are important.
Very important. Very, very important. So that's the information. So it's once you look the candidates up, guys, once you get your ballot, and even if you just go to the supervised elections and you can see 2020 candidates on the elections page, you click on that, it'll give you literally every candidate. You can see who they are, how much they've raised. You can also, once you get that information, Google them.
That's right.
You can go to their website and definitely learn who they are with their bio and everything. But I'm a marketer. My website's going to sound really good. It's going to be real impressive.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So Google me and see what other people are saying about me. Right.
Right.
See what the newspapers look for those report cards like Katrina just said, and see what information you're going to find on that person before you say, oh, well, their website looks and sounds good. Yeah, well, they all do.
And you know what, Ann Marie, I was looking because even with the census, right, we still have a lot of people here in Palm Beach County who has not completed the census. You don't complete the census, it's an easy way for you to be ignored.
Yes.
That's the simplest way to put it. If we don't complete that, then we're ignored, and we need those resources in our community.
In our communities. It takes 5 minutes, guys, to complete the census. You can go to U.S. Census. If you did not receive something in the mail, you can just manually put that information in. If you have a parent, grandparent who needs help, because it's all digital now, unless they call and request a physical census form to be sent. So let me backtrack. If someone has not completed the census and they need a physical census form, they can call to have it mailed to them and then sent back. Right. Otherwise, it is completely online. So you can do it from your phone. You can do it from your desktop. Yeah. And you want to have the census completed. Have your parents, your grandparents complete the census. If there's someone, and this is for my immigrant community, This completing the census has nothing to do with your immigration status.
Right.
Completing the census has nothing to do with if ICE is going to come find somebody, right? This is to be counted. It's important that we're counted. Every single person that's counted, I believe it's $1,400 or so.
Right. I believe it's 14. It's somewhere between 14 and 16.
Between 14 and $1,600 per person in funding for that community. What does that funding do, guys? Police, fire, roads. Schools. Water. Exactly. Our water quality. All those different things are important when we're talking about the census and making sure we have the financial resources to support infrastructure. You know, when our sewers start breaking, where do you think money comes from to fix that? When our parks, when you want to go run in these pretty parks and enjoy the fresh air from quarantine, who's going to fix the parks with no money? So
and it, you know, when I looked at when I looked at the data, it was alarming. And it takes viewers, you know, I'm gonna assume many of you have completed it, but you know people who have not completed it. Encourage them to complete it. It literally only took 5 minutes, maybe 5, maybe 5. Complete it. Vote.
And Rolando just posted in a chat, my2020census.gov. I repeat it, my2020census.gov is where you can go to complete the census. I literally went to my mom's house. Hey, Mom, let's complete this census. And we completed it together. So it's important that everyone takes 5 minutes to do that, please. So November elections. So, woo.
All we can do is breathe, right?
We gotta breathe, guys. So I'm gonna do a shameless plug before I get into it. I am a candidate for Palm Beach Soil and Water Conservation District, seat 2. So I will be on the ballot for November. So I ask for you all to please vote for me. I'll need your help in getting elected. And why is water, soil, and conservation important? Well, Palm Beach County is home to the 10th largest ag community in the country. We have a $1.8 billion economic impact from agriculture in Palm Beach County, the largest in the state of Florida. So it's important that we understand and support our agricultural businesses, but also our resources, and ensure that our ag businesses are properly managing our natural resources, our water, our soil, right? Our water, for those who don't know, Palm Beach County, our water system manages basically and provides water to all of South Florida. So it's important that our water is managed properly. It's not contaminated. We're using it in a sustainable way. All of that. So that seed is super important. We're talking about agribusiness. We're talking about water conservation. We're talking about our soil and the quality of it and everything. So Palm Beach Soil and Water Conservation District, seat 2, November 3rd. I'll be on the ballot for that. More information to come. I will be officially launching my campaign the week after the August election. So you'll see more with the campaign kickoff. It'll be virtual.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited. I'm happy for you with that.
Thank you. I'm super excited. But more importantly, for me, it's really making sure that we promote good candidates for 2020, November 3rd, 2020. We have to, and listen, I'm partisan. I'm gonna say it, I'm partisan, I'm a Democrat, but we gotta get a new president in the White House. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. You know? And it's not just about the White House, and Katrina, you can chime in. We have congressional seats.
That's right.
My girl Pam Keith running for Congress against Brian Mass. We have state representative seats. Right. We have, I believe, some state. Are there any state Senate seats? Yes, some state Senate seats too, right?
Oh, yes, I believe so.
So this is an important time. Florida the Florida House and Senate has been Republican controlled for 20 plus years, I believe. Yeah. Right. Yeah. This is a chance for us to flip some seats blue. Congressionally, we got to hold on to the House.
That's right.
It's important to so that there's some level of balance in government in Washington, because we have no balance of government in Florida right now, right? There's no balance. It's all one-sided, one party.
Exactly.
And so we have to.
The effects of it being one-sided here in Florida. We're definitely seeing the effects, and for full transparency, I'm a proud Democrat as well, and it is time. And I'm hoping that Ann Marie, with seeing how some things have been, playing out, that the Democratic Party really fires up and it turns out to vote. Like you said, we need to see change at this point. It's time for us to see some real change happening. And as you were saying, it affects everything.
Yes.
It affects everything. We need to flip some things, and it's time. It's time, and we need to have that fire behind us.
Absolutely. I mean, yesterday, the Florida Supreme Court decided to not allow ex-felons to be able to vote in the upcoming election. That's a setback.
Yeah.
Because Florida voters voted to say ex-felons can vote in the elections without all these other list of requirements and payments and all of that. We didn't vote for that, Ron DeSantis. Okay? We voted to allow people to pay their time, done what they're supposed to do, to get their rights back to vote. So that just suppressed, I believe, what was the number? About 75,000 at least?
It was at least 75,000, I believe.
Yeah, it's a high number, guys, of potential voters that were missing. I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on.
And here's the discouraging. We fought hard to get that passed.
Yes.
We educated, and it is discouraging for that to happen. And like I said, we voted to have them allowed to vote. But here's the thing: we go back to that voter suppression again, Ann Marie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where feeling where that game with us, and so it's time to see change. It's time to see change.
We have to. So we're not going to forget, Ron DeSantis, about you rolling that back. And we're darn sure not going to forget about your response to COVID-19 come 2022. So let's be clear on that. We won't forget. So I want people to understand. No, we won't. We won't forget the lives that have been lost. No. Exactly. So, Rolando Chase said almost 80,000, mostly Black and Hispanic men and women, will not get a chance to vote in November after they have served their time and paid paid what they had to pay for their crimes, whatever it is that they did, right? So that's an outrage. We should be outraged at that. We're not making enough noise about it. I'm going to definitely be sharing more of that on my timeline, but we should be outraged about that. This weekend, the Florida Blue conference is happening. So for my registered Democrats out there, you can go to, let me get the proper website for you. Give me 1 second. And you can attend the events. They're free. Okay. Hold on, what's the website here? leadershipblue.com. If you go to leadershipblue.com, you can register for all of the different events that are happening. There are lots of great workshops, seminars, different caucuses and clubs are going to be meeting. Joe Biden's going to be speaking on tomorrow night for the virtual Florida Blue Gala. And it's all the way from today, all day today, all day tomorrow, all day Sunday, up until 5 o'clock Sunday. There are different things going on. The other thing I want to encourage you to do, because there are a lot of workshops about organizing. So if you want to organize your community, organize your fellow friends, groups, whoever, there are great ways to organize virtually. So great workshops. And Katrina and we were talking earlier, we want to encourage you to get involved. If you have that burning desire and passion to run for office in your community, now's the time.
Right.
Now's the time.
Right.
And there's workshops on how to do that at the Florida Leadership Blue Conference this weekend. Come out here and be a leader like Miss Katrina.
Another event for seniors, and Kate Edmonds and Chef Boris are hosting a register to vote crab boil. That will be Saturday at the Salvation Army, and I'm looking at the flyer. That's why I'm looking over. But it's 600 North Rosemary Avenue. The time is from 12 to 2. So get someone, y'all take someone out there and register them to vote. We need everyone to be engaged with this process. So you can go, the food is free. The sponsors have made sure that all the food and everything is free. We just need you to come out there and register to vote Palm Beach County. It's important.
Absolutely. And for those who want to do something fun and socially distanced in your car, riding with Biden caravan is also happening tomorrow, I believe. I have to get the information, but Rolando, if you have that information, I know he's been really big with the riding with Biden Caravan initiative. So you can decorate your car, put a flag up, put a poster on it. You can request a bumper sticker, or just join the caravan if you want to. This is a great way to get out the house. You still be social distance in your car. And the meetup location, we'll post that in the comments. But riding with Biden, Palm Beach County, you can probably even Google it or look it up on Facebook, and you'll see the Facebook event for the caravan. So another way, I believe we're trying to get over 500 cars to participate. And it's literally just going through different neighborhoods, different parts of the county, to just really show the support and encourage people to get out the vote for Joe Biden in November. Definitely. So we have about 3 more minutes, Katrina. I want to leave our listeners on a high note. I want them to be motivated. What do you want them to take away from our discussion today?
Listen, my takeaway is stay engaged in community, stay engaged with what's going on with your local leaders, our national leaders. Look out for your neighbors. We're in a different time now. So for those of us who have elderly neighbors or community members in our community who have those compromised immune systems, let's look out for one another. Let's love on one another. Let's be patient with each other. Let's try to be understanding of one another. We don't understand the whole process of what's happening with COVID-19, but at least let's try to be open-minded and show a little patience and love. Like I said earlier, Palm Beach County is a diverse county, a great melting pot community. And so I appreciate each of us who have been loving on one another. Let's make sure we're supporting those small businesses, and at least trying to support them once a week, once every other week. And I just appreciate you for allowing me an opportunity to come on today and spill a little tea.
I know we spilled that tea, honey. Listen, I appreciate you coming on and joining me today in this very important discussion. I really hope that everyone out there got something from it, learned something, and will share this video. Share it far and wide, guys. Lots of great information that we've included in here. Lots of great upcoming events. data, websites. So whether you're dealing with COVID as a business or as a resident, whether you're interested in the upcoming elections, which you better be, there's lots of information here. And I just want to say to everyone that, I know this is a tough time for many people, but this is the time that it allows us for a few things. It allows us to push pause, to look within and look at how we can better improve ourselves, our families, our homes, as well as our communities. And this is a time for you to really take a step and say, what can I do differently, not just for myself, but for others around me? What can I get involved in? How can I become a volunteer? How can I now use, if you have extra time, because I don't have a lot of extra time. I don't know. Some people got time. I don't. I'm still busy. I'm actually busy. But if you have the extra time, there's so many causes that need you. We need you to help us get out the vote. We need you to get people registered. We need you to help educate people. So whatever it is that you want to get involved in, you can inbox Katrina. You can inbox myself. Send us any, questions that you may have. And if we don't know, we will get the answers for you. That is what we do. We take pride in being that resource for our community and for each and every one of you out there. So be encouraged, everyone. Don't be despaired. We're going to all get through this. We're in this together. But the decisions we make now, as you can see, can drastically impact our future in the years to come. So let's be wise, let's get active, let's take action and be a part of the movement, be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. So with that, we're going to close, Katrina. We're going to thank you guys. Have a great Friday. Get involved in something this weekend. Go to the Crab Boil. Go to Riding with Biden. Participate in Florida Leadership Blue, or just hang around your house and garden, but wear your mask.
Your mask.
Right. Wear your mask and social distance so we can get these numbers down and get back to business and get back to our lives here in Florida. So thank you all for tuning in and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katrina. Bye.